It's a terrific Thursday in the Carolinas, and we are here, and it's unlocked with Key and BB. We're giving you a little bit of a preview of what we've got going on this episode. We've got Alabama linebacker Caden Jones joining us to talk a little bit about the Ole Miss game. Is it going to be an elimination game? I guess we will just have to see what Caden Jones thinks about everything today. This is going to be an action-packed episode. And we started, and we were in a pre-show, and we were listening to a little bit of Avicii. It was, we're ready to rock on this beautiful Thursday. And we got our man BB here today. How are we feeling today, BB? How are we feeling?
I mean, to be honest, I don't know if I've been more pumped up for an episode than right this instant. We got CJ, we got little CJ, we got Maxie's Mortals. We just got, we got the number one linebacker recruit in North Carolina joining. Are you serious?
Are you
Let's
serious?
Go. Let's go.
That's what Unlock does. And hey, this is going to be a fun episode. Like you said, we got Maxie's Mortal Lock coming back. Maxie's now 3-0 on his Mortal Locks, if you do not remember correctly. And I don't think he's showing any signs of stopping. I was talking to him earlier, and he was dropping a lot of stats. He didn't drop the pick just yet, but he dropped a boatload of stats as to why he believes his Mortal Lock is going to smack once again. We are excited to see what Maxie has. We've also got Carson Jones joining us, Dr. Carson Jones joining us for another episode today. We're action-packed, man. This is no slouch of an episode. I'll tell you that right now. We got LSU Bama. We got Ole Miss in a big game versus Georgia as well. We've got a Thursday night football game today, and it's about as exciting as it gets. It's about as exciting as it gets. We got elimination day in football for Carolina, or not for Carolina, for the Alabama Crimson Tide. We got Carolina basketball on Friday. It's like, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Get me jumping around. Get me all excited, man. Let's get right into it, BB. Before we get into anything crazy, we got some more exciting news in the NFL. Chuba Hubbard was extended by the Carolina Panthers, and he got paid. He most certainly got paid. I believe it was $33.25 million over the next 4 years. Is that right, BB?
I believe that is correct. He got a lot of guaranteed money, too. You don't see that often for RBs nowadays, but he got some bread. He got some bread, and Dan Morgan said it himself. I want some dogs, and he believes Chuba Hubbard is just that, an absolute dog, and he is going to be sticking around in the Carolinas for a good little while to come. And I'm excited to see Chuba Hubbard. The other information that we got is Jonathan Brooks is officially activated to the 53-man roster this week versus the New York Giants. And I'm excited to see, is it going to be a boom right here? And then you get boom right there from Jonathan Brooks. It's going to be, can it be possible that we have the 1-2 punch? And I'm hoping we're knocking people out all season, because last week we knocked Dennis Allen out. He's gone. Is Brian Daboll next? Can we do something like that to Brian Daboll with this run game, BB? How do you feel about the Carolina Panthers game coming up? It does seem that way the last couple of years. If you lose to the Carolina Panthers and you're a head coach, for some reason, maybe we're that bad, you get fired if you lose to us. That's how it's been. But like you said, Jonathan Brooks activated, Chuba extended. I think both these guys are going to have some juice. I've seen a lot of tweets today saying we're trying to get our own David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs 1-2 punch. Mm-hmm. So, and Dave Canales has said it multiple times. He's committed to the run game. So clearly, I think we see that with the extension and the activation of Jonathan Brooks. I think this could be a duo for years to come.
Run the damn ball. And I went back and I had to check out Jonathan Brooks, because it's been a little bit of a while since I watched some Jonathan Brooks stuff. And Jonathan Brooks, I wanted to call Jonathan Brooks Love because he's so patient, but Jonathan Brooks is not also kind, and Love is very kind. Jonathan Brooks will run square through your face if he has to, but he's got the patience of a beast running back, some Le'Veon Bell style patience in there. And then when he hits it, it's a burst, and he's going to the end zone, and it's exciting to watch Jonathan Brooks play football, and I'm excited to see him catch a couple of balls from starting quarterback who was announced today, Bryce Young. BB, how do you feel about us rolling with Bryce Young? We keep him at the trade deadline, and it's official. Bryce Young is going to be our guy this week. And Dave Canales didn't say it, but he's going to be our guy moving forward, BB.
Most likely he will be our guy moving forward. And I think since the second half of that Broncos game and last week, for some reason, he's kind of looked like a different quarterback than we've seen. Maybe I think the last time we saw him reach his potential like this was the Packers game last year. So it's exciting to see Bryce finally look like maybe the quarterback we thought we were drafting. And I'm going to flip it back on you with another question. Who would you say Jonathan Brooks's player comp is if you had to compare him to a current NFL RB?
Current NFL RB for Jonathan
It could be passed.
Brooks?
It could be passed too, if you think.
That's a good one, BB. I think Jonathan Brooks reminds me a little bit of like a maybe no, I wouldn't say LaShawn McCoy. He's not that snappy. I don't know, man. Maybe like we'll see. Christian McCaffrey, like he's nice. He's nice out of the backfield. He's got some burst. He can run the football. Like if he can be a Christian McCaffrey for the Carolina Panthers, we won. Who do you think he plays like?
McCaffrey is probably a little better player than I thought of, but mine would probably be like an Alvin Kamara, a guy that can kind of catch it out of the backfield, but he's patient. He's not like his steps. He's not sprinting full speed 100% of the time. Like he's reading the defense. He's judging his speed off that. And I think he's more of an Alvin Kamara type player versus our Chuba Hubbard, who's our bruiser. So I'm excited to see this duo eat. I really am.
Yeah, that's exactly who it is. It's Alvin Kamara. That's exactly who Jonathan Brooks reminds me of. But next up, we do have a guest with us here today. And we are going to get into all things football starting right now. We always got to talk about our Panthers, man. We're sitting here in Charlotte. We got to talk about the Panthers, but we have an AFC North matchup today, and we have the AFC North King with us today, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about who he thinks is going to get some big wins tonight. Can the Bengals cover 5.5 points? Is Joe Burrow going to throw for another 5 touchdowns today? Is Lamar Jackson going to continue his MVP campaign? There's a lot of storylines around this game, and there's nobody better to ask than Dr. Carson Joe.
What's up, boys? How we doing?
What up, CJ? What is that? Is that a Steelers Batman combo?
He's Rey Mysterio.
Got this down in Cancun, Mexico. It's got a little Nacho Libre style to it. I whip it out whenever I need some good juju. I've actually been wearing it these last few weeks since Ruska started, and it's been giving us the good mojo, man. We're putting up points, we're winning games, so I'm gonna keep rocking with it.
Do you watch the games in that thing?
No, usually. Put it on before the game. I get my terrible towel. I get my TJ Watt jersey. I send a picture to my dad and my brothers, and I say it's game time.
Let's go.
I go out my little chair right in front of my TV, and I lock in. Let's do it.
I love it. Imagine being at the local pub, and you're kind of hanging out. You got 6 guys, and there's one guy by himself in the corner
with the luchador mask.
That is good.
He might be out of his mind, but he loves the Steelers.
Yes, he loves his team. He loves his team a whole lot.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you got to respect that. That's what a dog does, man. Speaking of the Steelers, y'all have a big game this weekend versus the Washington Commanders. Both teams are now 6-2, and the Commanders are favorites. And I wanted to know from you, are you bought in on Jayden Daniels enough to where people are disrespecting the fact that now he has to play against TJ Watt, who's going to be coming at him all game long? There's going to be a lot of punching, a lot of nastiness in a game like this. Has Jayden Daniels really dealt with a lot of that so far? And the fact that the Steelers are underdogs is beyond me. I'm gonna be honest with you, CJ. Do you think that Jayden Daniels is the real deal? And do you feel as though the Pittsburgh Steelers have a chance to lose versus the Washington Commanders of all teams right now? That is something that we never would have thought to have heard.
First of all, I am a believer of Jaden Daniels. Last year, me and Caden were down there for a visit. Alabama LSU game, prime time. Alabama, great defense. I think they had 4 or 5 NFL draft picks on that defense. Yeah, you had Caleb Downs on the back end. And whenever I tell you Jaden Daniels was making them boys look silly, it was crazy. Like, I had never seen a football player move like that, play like that, in that type of environment, that type of setting against a defense like Alabama had. And, I mean, he just looked like he was on a whole different level. Alabama did end up winning that game because Dallas Turner, put a nasty hit on Jaden Daniels, put him out for the game. But if Jaden was healthy that whole game, I think LSU had a good shot of upsetting Bama. But doesn't matter. He didn't. They didn't. So it's all good. But moving on to your question.
Speaking of that, though, CJ, of that, there's another episode of that exact game this weekend, LSU versus Alabama. And we're going to talk to the person that your jersey that you're wearing. We're going to talk to Big 30 later on in this episode today. But before we get into the Steelers and the Commanders, since you're talking about Alabama and LSU, what do you think Alabama has to do in this game in order to beat the LSU Tigers, CJ?
I think they got to run the ball. First and foremost, I mean, you got a big O-line. Your O-line is supposed to be one of the strengths of the team. Establish the run. You got 2 good backs in Justice Haynes and Jam Miller. They're dynamic. They can run the ball. They can catch out of the backfield. They can make big plays. So first and foremost, I think you got to establish the run. I think in the Tennessee game, Milroe dropped back to pass 44 times. And, I just don't think that that's a good recipe to win for them. They got their O-line. They got their running backs. They got a dynamic guy at QB. Use him to run the ball as well, and then use the run to establish the pass. Use play action, open up the field, and let Jalen eat after that. But I think first and foremost, you got to establish the run.
Yeah, I like that. And I like that because running the damn ball travels too. You're going into a loud stadium. It's going to be wild in Tiger Town at night on Saturday. It's going to be nuts. You know what I mean? So if you're able to just think about that first drive. Let's say they run the ball 6 times right down the field, score a touchdown.
Hey, and there's nothing more demoralizing as a player, as a fan, whenever the other team just lines up and just runs it on you.
Yeah.
You get to the point where you're looking around, you're just like,
there's nothing you can do. We can't win this game if they're just going to do that. We can't.
Exactly.
There's literally nothing you can do. Do you think, CJ, that this game is must win or go home elimination style football game? Or do you think there's a way that a 3-loss LSU, because let's be honest, Bama's winning this game. But can a 3-loss LSU team make it into the playoff, or is that just not happening this year?
I think this is a win or go home for both teams. I mean, this is the biggest game of the year as far as direct playoff implications. And I think both teams are going to go in there hungry. They know they have to win this game, backs against the wall, both coming off of a bye week. Both got good game plans coming in. They're hyped. They're ready. I mean, it's Alabama LSU. It doesn't get much better than that at night in Baton Rouge. It's a big game. Everybody knows it. So we'll see who steps up to the plate. Who I got. I got the Tide. We'll just have to see come Saturday night.
Let's go, man. This game is exciting. And just like you said, it's a big game. We're going to ask Caden Jones all about the big games. He played in Alabama versus Georgia, and we're excited to get into all of that with Caden Jones. Talk a little bit about how does he prepare for a game like this? Like, as a freshman, how has Kellen DeBoer helped you develop yourself? You've already played in one big game. Now let's think into the next big game. And how have you now elevated yourself just a little bit more for those big games? Because if I think about it, first snap versus Georgia, man, I would be shaking in my boots. One year at Wofford, we played Clemson in Tiger Town. And, we're warming up or whatever. It's not crazy. I'm like, okay, well, they're not about to show out. They're playing Wofford, whatever. Came out of the stands right before the game starts. It is deep. And boo, boo. Hey, number 4, you suck. It's like, whoa, oh my God, I'm terrified. And it's like, okay, how do you prepare for stuff like that when the team is genuinely relying on you? Because, man, when I stepped out on the field, I'm going to be honest with you. First drive of the game, Trevor Lawrence went for 60 yards on my head to Amari Rodgers, just like that. So it's like, not only how do you prepare for a game, how do you successfully prepare for a big game like that? Because I ain't got that answer clearly. But speaking on big games, we have another big game tonight, where the Cincinnati Bengals waltz into Baltimore to see who can be the best QB in the AFC North. Some people might say it's Russell Wilson, and I get it, but let's really think about Joe Burrow. Let's think about Lamar Jackson, two guys who have – Joe Burrow's thrown for 5 touchdowns in 2 games, I believe, this year. And he dealt against the Ravens last time, and the over is set pretty freaking high. I think it's 52.5 points. BB, do you think that this is just another game where we're looking at a high-scoring matchup?
I think we have to, right? I mean, both offenses seem to be clicking on all cylinders. We said this yesterday. This is the get-back game for the Bengals. Like, their seasons hasn't been what Bengals fans are expecting, taking a lot more L's than they're used to. They usually start off slow, but I feel like it's not usually this slow. And the Ravens, obviously we got the king in the backfield, video game backfield. I've said that before. Trade for Deontay Johnson. Hopefully we see him a little more in this game. I still know he hasn't been there that long. Another short week. He got there late last week, so he didn't really play in his first game. Another short week. So it'll be interesting to see how much he plays.
Yep.
But I think this is going to be a high-scoring battle. It was 41-38 last time. Both these offenses are way better than their defenses, so I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, that's a lot of points. And you talked about Deontay Johnson and hoping that he has a bigger role in the game today. You think about DeAndre Hopkins for the Kansas City Chiefs. Week 1, he only played about 20% of snaps. I played him in fantasy. I don't even know if he had any points. But last week he scores 2 touchdowns. Last week he had 7 receptions. Last week he showed out. You hope to see the same thing come from Deontay Johnson in this Baltimore Ravens offense. Last week, Zay Flowers had himself a day. So if you think about pairing 2 guys up now, and you got Mark Andrews still, it's like this is a scary offense that you have to face if you're the Cincinnati Bengals. But on the other side of things, Joe Burrow just threw for 5 tutties last week. I think he got pretty close to 500 yards if he didn't surpass it. It's like, and the Baltimore Ravens' biggest struggle is their pass defense. So part of me wants to say Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals are about to put on a clinic, but the other part of me wants to say the Baltimore Ravens are going to put on a clinic. It's just which clinic do you really want to go to? You know what I mean? It's going to be an awesome game, CJ. Who do you have in this game, and what do you think is going to be the answer to winning in a game like this primetime in Baltimore?
So obviously, I agree with everything y'all said. I mean, both offenses click on all cylinders. 2 of the best offenses in the league. Defenses haven't, lived up to the hype. Haven't performed well this season. Obviously, the over-under is set pretty high, and I don't really see a way that it doesn't hit, unless it's a typical Thursday night ugly game, AFC North grudge match. But these teams don't really have the build of that. The Ravens' pass defense is not good, and the Bengals eat through the air. The Bengals' rush defense is not good. And whenever you're going up against Lamar and the King, that's not good. So, I don't know. I got the Bengals keeping it close, though.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a close game. I think the line is, 6? I got the Bengals plus 6.
That line is dancing. Yeah, the line's dancing around. It's like people start betting on the Bengals. It comes down to 5.5. Then everybody likes 5.5 in terms of the Ravens. And then it goes back to 6. So when I saw it last, it was 5.5, and that's what we've got here. But hey, the next question is for the chat. We got 8 people viewing today. I appreciate you guys so much, and so does BB. Like this is the most amount of viewers we've ever had. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna ask y'all to subscribe. I know, you feel like who cares? 1 subscriber. It's like think about what people were saying during the voting season. Like your vote counts. The only thing is we're not gonna make you feel bad for it, but please subscribe because why not? Because why not? Your subscription matters to me. So give us a little subscription. We're going to get on and drop in the comments who y'all think is going to win this game. It's going to be a dogfight.
Last thing on this Thursday night game, I'm pretty sure last week they showed a stat. The Ravens pass defense is ranked 32 out of 32. Their rush defense is 1 out of 32. So they're the best against the run, the worst against the pass. We know that's what the Bengals like to do is pass the ball. So agreeing with CJ's point, how does this over not hit?
It's got to, right?
It's got to, right?
See, it's got to, but
so
it's not going to.
It's got to, so won't. It's got to, so won't.
There's no way.
Could the over potentially be Maxey's mortal lock is the question. That's like,
we'll find out.
I don't know, man. Like, I really don't know. I'll drop some of the stats that he gave me, and we could try and maybe guess what he's got for us before he jumps on. But he said Isaiah Likely is not playing. He's also said that the Baltimore Ravens have one of the best offenses in the league. He drops some stuff. I can't even remember what he was saying. Like, it was in terms of pass efficiency and third down efficiency, just stuff like that. And it's kind of like, all right, yeah, man, all right. What's the pick? Where did you get these stats? He was talking a little bit about Mark Andrews and how Mark Andrews has come along. And, since week 2, I believe he's something in terms of receptions. And so, I mean, I think it's leaning towards the Ravens. Maybe he's going to take the Ravens today, but he could be also taking the over. So we're just going to have to see what Maxey has for us. But we're going to continue to dive into the NFL slate this weekend. There's some really good football games that are going on in the league this week, and potentially, there's going to be another NFC battle. The Philadelphia Eagles are waltzing into Dallas, and I think we were expecting a little bit more of a storyline heading into this game, but Dak Prescott is hurt. That's kind of the storyline. Are they going to start Cooper Rush? Are they going to start Trey Lance? We don't know just yet, but the Philadelphia Eagles are firing on all cylinders. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to expect the Eagles are going to go into Dallas and just absolutely mollywop the Dallas Cowboys. Right now, Philadelphia is favored by 7 points. And BB, I just wanted to ask, do you think that is something that the Eagles would just kind of cover with ease?
I mean, like we just mentioned, it should be, right? Like, that should be easy with no Dak Prescott. Their offense was already looking suspect this entire year with Dak Prescott. So I think you go to Cooper Rush or the interception machine in Trey Lance. He threw 5 interceptions in a half of football. So I don't see any way how Dallas is scoring points. Like we said last week, the Eagles are clicking on all cylinders. Even though they almost blew the game against the Jaguars, I think there's too much talent both sides of the ball in Philadelphia. We just said Saquon Barkley is one of the top 5 players in the league. He was your best player in the league. He just made one of the best plays we've ever seen. The Eagles are riding high. I got to go with the Eagles.
Eagles -7, CJ?
Oh, yeah, I'm going with the Eagles. I did see that Parsons could be back this week, though. I mean, Parsons is a certified game wrecker.
He absolutely is.
But like BB said, unless Sirianni, tries to lose the game like he usually does, I think the Eagles win this one pretty easily. But, Sirianni was doing his best last week.
He was.
He was.
It was like I was watching the game, and I go to a different game, so it looked like they were about to blow him out. I tune back in, it'd be 4th and 1, and they're going for it. The Jags had stopped the tush push 2 times. Now he's pulling out the fake tush push, throwing out. Nothing's there.
Yeah, he's thinking they stopped it twice. This one will surely get there. And no, it didn't work. But
no, not at all.
I do think I got the Eagles -7 in that one. I think that it's going to be it could potentially end up being a bloodbath. But, I mean, that's one of the better games of the weekend. I'm still looking through a couple of more of these. Detroit plays Houston. The Lions play the Texans on Sunday Night Football. And I don't know. I mean, the Texans kind of look weak right now. Like, their offensive line is struggling. They haven't had their top 2 options at receiver. Stephon Diggs is cooked. Nico Collins seems like he'll be out for a little bit longer. Is Tank Dell good enough to be a wide receiver one? Some people might have thought so last year, but that's just been a struggle for the Houston Texans so far this year. And the Lions are just a walking wrecking ball right now. They are embarrassing teams that thought they had a squad, but the Detroit Lions are only favored by 3.5 points. That's not a lot of points.
Those are the things, like how is that not a guaranteed lock? Like Stephon Diggs is out, Nico Collins is out. Their best 2 weapons are out. We saw CJ Stroud. I think he was 11 for 30 last week and like barely cracked 100 yards. And then in contrast, we just saw the Detroit Lions last week in a pouring rain football game show that they can smash it down your throat for 4 straight quarters. So obviously they can throw it through the air. They can run the ball. They seem like one of the most complete teams in the NFL, if not the most complete team in the NFL. They just traded for a star pass rusher in Zadarius Smith. So, I mean, how do the Lions not win this game? Huge.
Yeah. I mean, you just made great points, and it sounds like you got Lions minus 3.5.
I mean, it just seems too easy, right?
Yeah, I got Lions. I mean, he covered it all. Last week it was a division game. I thought they might have a little bit of slip up because it's hard to blow out teams week in, week out in the NFL. You don't see a lot of teams do it.
Nope.
So I thought last week, division game on the road, first game outside, against a familiar opponent, and they go out there and dominate them. So, I mean, until they show me, a little weakness or something that they can't do, I'm going to roll with them.
Yeah. Well, you got to. I mean, you genuinely have to. Because, I mean, they look like the best team in football. I get it. The Chiefs are undefeated right now. But a team like the Lions, they are actually dominating people left and right. And it's like, that's the best team. When you watch and you don't know anything about football, you bring your girlfriend to the pub or whatever, she's going to say that's the best team. And she's not lying because the Detroit Lions are a wee bit ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, Mr. Unlimited is going into Washington to play the Commanders. BB, I got to get your take on this game because the Washington Commanders are favored in this game. And I'm going to be honest with you and say I don't exactly know why. They don't have the best defense in the game. And the Steelers just might have the best defense in the game. And their offense is rolling. They just traded for Mike Williams. They got more pieces into an offense that is really starting to click. And Russell Wilson is letting that thing loose. And so I got to know, BB, what do you think about the Commanders and the Steelers on Sunday?
I'm starting to think Vegas knows something that we might not with these lines this weekend. Like you mentioned, the Steelers' offense is clicking on all cylinders since Russ has been in there. I mentioned it last week. This is maybe the best I've ever seen Najee Harris look as a running back in the NFL. Looks like his career's on the upslope. And Mike Tomlin, 24-6 against rookie QBs. He doesn't let them beat the Steelers ever. 24-6, that's pure domination. And obviously, Jaden Daniels is a rookie. And the Steelers' defense, I don't know if Jaden Daniels has seen a defense like this in the NFL yet. When you got TJ Watt screaming at you every play, we're going to see if you're really elite. So if Jaden Daniels pulls this one out, will he win the MVP? I mean, he might.
He's gunning for it. He's gunning for it.
I saw a thing today. Type of performance to beat the Steelers this week. I gotta say. And you were talking about the Steelers and the way that Najee Harris is running the football, and Najee Harris looks like a beast. And some people aren't exactly sure why the Steelers traded for Mike Williams. And my response was literally this: okay, the Steelers have one deep threat, George Pickens. You add another one. You have a quarterback who potentially throws the best deep ball in the game, but teams cannot just hold 2 safeties in the back because now that you have Najee Harris, who is going to run all on your defense. If you have 2 safeties back deep, and you need that extra guy in the box with the way Najee Harris is running the football. So now you have to pick your poison. Do you want to get beat deep by Mike Williams? You want to get beat deep by George Pickens or on some crossing routes by George Pickens? Or do you want Najee Harris to punch you in your mouth for 8 straight plays, and we're just going to enforce our will all the way down to the end zone. I mean, that is literally, I believe, like that has to be what Mike Tomlin was thinking when he brought in Mike Williams. It's like, okay, we're seeing a lot of too high. Okay, let's get an answer on both sides, and let's have the answer in the middle with Najee Harris. CJ, how do you feel about Najee Harris, the run game, and the trading of Mike Williams?
I'm feeling great about the Steelers right now. Just like BB says, going into this week, I believe 24-6 against rookie QBs. Yep. I believe in Mike Tomlin's career, he is 13-4 following the bye week. So usually pretty good after the bye week. We're getting a little bit more healthy. We got Zach Frazier coming back, our rookie center, who was looking like one of the best centers in the league. We're getting back Nick Herbig, one of our edge rushers, who's also a beast. And we're getting back Cordero Patterson. Some people are like, ooh, Cordero Patterson, but that guy runs hard. You do not want to see that guy barreling down on you. That's just another guy we can throw back in the backfield along with Najee and Jaylen Warren just to wear that defense down. And then we added Preston Smith as well on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of people will say he's old. He's not like how he used to be. But the thing is, we don't need him to be. He's going to be our 4th string edge rusher. So he's going to be fresh all game, third quarter, whenever they've been going up against TJ and Highsmith all game. Just throw that guy in there, fresh legs against a tired O lineman, and he should be able to do his thing. So, I'm feeling good about the Steelers. I'm feeling good about our offense. People were saying, the Mike Williams trade, didn't move their meter. We don't need him to be Mike Williams of 2020, 2021. We just need him to win a few jump balls a game, just have another threat out there for the defense staff to worry about, that Russ can throw the ball up to. It seems like a match made in heaven, if I'm being honest. He's known for going up, jump balls coming down with him, and Russ throws a catchable ball. I'll tell you that much. So
I think the Steelers should come out in a formation where it's just Darnell Washington and Pat on one side of the O-line, Mike Williams, George Pickens on the outside, Najee in the backfield. Just run 2 streaks. Just 2 streaks.
Yeah.
That's the only play you need to run for 4 quarters and you'll win.
Yeah. No, and that boy Darnell, I need us to get him more involved in the passing offense. If you get him man coverage against a little DB, they got no shot.
He looks like Shaquille O'Neal on a football field.
He's 6'7", 300 plus.
He's huge.
Who's tackling that? Who wants to tackle that? Nobody.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm good on that. I'm not. I mean, he can go ahead and run right on by me, bro. I mean, he's a beast, and he has a solid catch radius too. Like I feel like he's made some plays. I know definitely back in the day at Georgia and stuff, he made some big plays, but hey, he's a beast. He honestly is a beast. And speaking of beasts, we have a guy with us today who's going to give us his 4th mortal lock of the season. We have Thursday night, we have prime time, and we got to hear from Maxi Stats. Who do you have in tonight's game? And I believe it's going to be another good one for Maxi. He dropped a lot of stats, like I mentioned, and he's ready to rock. So without further ado, Maxi. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, Max. You're officially this guy.
He's on the course.
You joining from the golf course?
Nice
I'm on the
service,
course
dude.
right now. But, can you hear me?
Yeah. We're going to have to make it quick with your service, though.
Okay. We'll make it quick. Lock it in. Give me Mark Andrews last 2 years.
All right. No Maxi Mortal lock this week. What are you saying? All right. You're good. Go ahead. Give us the mortal lock.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Mark Andrews over 3.5 receptions. Bengals are probably the worst team in the league. The tight ends the past 2 years. Isaiah Likely not playing. Love it. Lock it in. And I will see you guys at the cash counter.
All right. We got
His service got good there.
Another mortal lock. And it's Mark Andrews over 3.5 receptions. How do we feel about the Maxi Mortal lock of the day, y'all?
3.5. That's low, I feel
no
like.
Isaiah Likely tonight.
No Isaiah Likely, 3.5. I love that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. That could be done in the first drive of the game.
Yep.
So that'd be nice to see.
Let's
But
see
I do like Mark Andrews over 3.5. Like I said, I think Vegas knows something this week that we don't. These lines sound ridiculous.
Yeah, or let's hope that they don't get us back for cashing out on their ass last week with the boys parlay, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we have another guest with us here today. He is from Asheville, North Carolina. I looked it up today. This man is 6'3", 232 pounds of straight meat. Ladies and gentlemen, from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Caden Jones.
Let's go. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
We can
Let's
hear you
go.
a lot better.
Of course, we can hear you through the AirPod
AirPods.
Extra Pro Maxes.
Yeah.
Is that
Hopefully
that
y'all can.
NIL? Is that NIL headset? Yes.
You already know.
Are
Thank
you
y'all for
joining
having me.
from, Tuscaloosa, or are you guys already in Baton Rouge?
Nah, we'll leave tomorrow afternoon. I'm in Tuscaloosa.
Okay.
We had practice and stuff this morning.
Did you get to skip class this week, or how does
No.
Alabama treat that? No.
Oh no, we go to class. I haven't missed a single class.
Academic right there, baby.
Yeah, come
He's an
on,
academic
come
weapon.
on, man. Come on, hey, that's that Christ school stuff. They got to get us right academically.
Absolutely. I saw on the roster you are 6'4", 230. Are you every bit of 230? Because that's no joke.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say I'm every bit 230 for sure.
Like last time I saw you, you're like 195.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So
I used to be a lot skinnier.
Jesus, 40 big ones since you got to Alabama. That's
No, not 40.
No, 195.
But hey, I got to start this with a little story about Caden Jones, and it was back when he was at Christ School. I was at Wofford, and I think I was right before I was transferring over to UNC Charlotte to play a little bit of football there. Caden, I was already getting a lot of coverage from college programs. He was already getting a lot of attention, and especially in the state, every team was paying attention to Caden Jones. He was starting to get a lot of attention nationally, and I came back. Coach Loom, the defensive coordinator at Christ School at the time, asked me to come back and just coach a couple of guys on some coaching points and stuff. And Caden Jones was a part of that little segment that I had with the defense, and it was only with DBs. Caden asked to come over and learn. It's like, well, Caden, you already have offers from places that are a lot better than where I play, but Caden was all ears, like absolutely all ears. He was asking me a ton of questions, and whenever I looked over, some guys are like messing around, playing around. Caden was locked in like this, just trying to learn wherever he could learn. And I think that is the kind of stuff that it stuck with me. I don't have the best memory in the game, but that has stuck with me, is just the respect that you show to everybody. The respect that you show to, athletes who were at Christ School before you. I'm sure you do the same at Alabama. Oh, yeah. Just the ability to learn, the willingness to learn, the want to learn. That is Caden Jones. And that's honestly what I think is going to make you an NFL dog. Yes, you're 6'4", 6'3", 230, and that kind of stuff. Players make it to the league, but it's what you got up here is what makes you Alabama material. I'm sure that's what Coach Nick Saban saw in you whenever he was recruiting. And man, I'm excited to see where your career goes, man. This is going to be, this is a lot of fun, dude. And I think we're going to start off with a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about Christ School, but also we're going into Alabama. How has that transition for you been? Because I know you clearly have put on some weight. You know what I mean? But in terms of school, in terms of managing, being a Division I athlete, not just a Division I athlete, a Division I athlete at the Alabama University and the University of Alabama. Sorry about that, brother. Roll Tide. How has that been? How has that been for you getting acclimated to being on campus, to becoming like low key? If you wear Alabama gear, like you're worshipped around there. So how has that been for you in terms of a transition?
It's been super smooth, honestly. You know, coming from Christ school, um, it's a little school. You know, it's not a big school, but you know the transition was smooth. You know, the older guys in my position group, like Jahad Campbell and Deontay Lawson, like they kind of took us freshmen under their wings and stuff, and they've been great. You know, they're great leaders, and they're always looking out for us. And as far as academically, you know, I've had no problems. You know, it's been good. Got ABs and stuff,
Let's go.
and you know that's been good. And as far as like on the field, I had to gain some weight. You know, my first spring, I did all right, but you know, I gotta gain a little bit more. I had to gain a little bit more weight to, you know, get down in the trenches and bang a little bit. But you know, as far as, you know, transitioning, it's been good. You know, it's really blessed. You know, it could have been, I know that the stuff with Coach Saban, you know, that was a shock, but you know, I still feel great. You know, the coaches that I have now are amazing. You know, Coach Womack and Coach Morrell, you know, they're great. And, you know, it's like I'm supposed to be here, and I still feel that way even after, you know, Coach Saban's gone and stuff. But all that's in the past, you know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys get stuck on that. You know, I know it happened just this past year, but, you know, we got to move on. You know, we're still Alabama. We got Kalen DeBoer. He's a great coach. We have a great coaching staff. And, you know, we're doing good.
Heck yeah. Well, that's great to hear. I mean, I know, especially academically, Christ school will get you right.
Yeah, get you right. It'll get you right. Yeah.
Like, that some of the classes that you take at Christ school are no joke. And I think that always helps you moving forward in college and past college. It's a great school. But speaking of, like, you know, that transition from athletically being at Christ school, like you said, a smaller school, you're probably playing in front of a couple hundred, maybe, you know, and for a good game, a couple hundred. Now you're playing against thousands, and I mean thousands. And this week is going to be on the road. But the transition from college, from high school to college, I think BB has a question for you in terms of that.
Yeah, it's good to hear that you're liking it, all that. Still Alabama. I agree with you. You're meant to be there, so let's work. But my question for you was, what was kind of your quote unquote welcome to college moment?
Welcome to college moment.
Like these are the big dogs. Like, this isn't high school anymore. This isn't Christ school. This is Alabama.
I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, I was thinking, like I could, you know, talk about our conditioning program that we had in the spring. It's called the fourth quarter, and you know, it's conditioning, running, and stuff. But honestly, that wasn't my welcome to college moment. I'm gonna be completely honest here, okay? So it was in the spring. And, you know, this is one of our, like, very first, scheduled the practices, you know, you have periods and stuff. One of our very first live periods, one of our very first live segments. I'm playing man, right? And I'm man on the tight end. And he kind of check releases, you know, he blocks a little bit, check release. Yeah. The check release kind of got me, you know, I dropped down and I dropped out, you know, playing off the QB's vision and his eyes, and my eyes were bad, and I just kind of locked in on the QB, forgetting that my job was the tight end. So they dumped it off to the tight end. My leverage was bad, and, you know, I'm closing down on him, and I'm not gonna lie, Danny Lewis stiff-armed me pretty bad.
Straight to the dirt?
Yeah, straight. It was to the dirt, man. I'm not gonna lie, he stiff-armed me. And I was just like, dang. I mean, I got him out of bounds, and it was only like a 2-yard gain. But I mean, I got back up and ran back out there. I mean, but that was definitely I was thinking about even telling that, but
that'll definitely happen at a school like Alabama. I mean, all those guys were recruited to play at that program, so they're elite athletes all over the field. So I was just
I definitely had not been stiff armed like that before.
I feel like every freshman has, like, that moment. Like, even the best players that are now, you know, in the league, or guys like Jalen Milroe, I'm sure, has some form of a story.
Oh yeah,
like that. So like, I definitely would not take that as like a hell. I know you're not, but it's like, especially at a place like Alabama, I mean, that place raises grass-fed dogs.
Yeah,
And so,
for sure.
I mean, you're going up against the best, and I mean the fact that you're able to pop up, come on here, talk about that, and now you're playing in the games. It's like your coach and your team trust you, bro. Like, and I think that is going to be exciting to see. But and now you're going into Ole Miss, right? You got a big game.
We got LSU.
Or no, I'm sorry, I said Ole Miss. I meant LSU.
LSU.
You're going into LSU, Baton Rouge. What potentially the biggest game of the year? We talked about it yesterday, and I think it's the biggest game of the year considering the implications and things like that. And
definitely,
yeah, it's like if you lose, you more than likely will not be in the playoff. But this is not your first.
Yeah, loser goes home.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna be jumping. It's gonna be jumping.
It is. It's gonna be hostile. It's gonna be hostile too.
Yeah, and I think with a rivalry the way that y'all have one too, like it's gonna be a lot of fun. But like in terms of rivalries, this isn't your first big rivalry or big game. Like you guys took on UGA week. Was it like week 5? I believe it was. Week 5. Yeah, it was early in the season, and it was in Alabama. It's like as a freshman, you strapped up and you were in that game. It's like. How did you prepare for something like that, and what was it like being on that first kickoff in your very first big game at home versus Georgia?
I mean, like you said, big game, night game, college game day. I mean, you could only imagine how I was feeling for that kickoff. I mean, I was ready to run through a brick wall. Matter of fact, that was the kickoff I broke my wrist. Okay. So that kind of gives you an idea. Like I ran down there, smacked this dude in the face, and I broke my wrist, and I just kind of like felt my wrist. I was like, it doesn't really feel that bad. Whatever, I'll just get it taped. Got it taped. Kept running on kickoff, special teams, anywhere my team needs me, and I was able to contribute and help my team, and just like as far as preparing for that game, you just got to trust in your preparation, and that's what kind of Coach DeBoer told us, and and yeah, it's like it was a big game, but yet like honestly, like we all were super confident in ourselves and each other, and yeah, we just got to carry that, and yeah, I'm excited for Saturday night too. It's gonna be another big game. Yep. Hostile environment. LSU is one of the toughest places to play. We played at Tennessee. Now we're playing at LSU. I think we're going to be ready. We've got the experience. As far as a team, and we're going to be ready for this game for sure.
Yeah, this one's very exciting, and I said this yesterday too. Like I feel like this is where like you said, hostile environment, big game. You're going into Baton Rouge, but like. This is typically where you see the best version of Alabama. This is where you see the best version of teams that have so many great players because great players show up in the big games in the big moments. And I believe that I think Alabama, I think y'all got this game. Like I really do, because I feel like, Jalen Milroe, you think back to when he was trying to fight for his quarterback position, and he got benched for a game. He comes back and he takes that team rolling for the rest of the season. And it's like, okay, that's the kind of guy that you have as your leader. If he's leading a team and people are counting the team out in Alabama, this is where that team starts to emerge as a college football playoff contender. And I think it's even better that it's on the road, because you guys are going to shut a lot of people up. And a lot of people have been talking a lot of chirping, you know what I mean, and about this game and about this team. And I think BB has a question for you in terms of how are things internally? There's a lot about the externals, but what about the internals?
Yeah, building off of the preparation we were just talking about, my next question was, what's the energy in the building been like, knowing that this is such a big game, biggest game of the season we said on the show yesterday? Is it business as usual, or is there like a heightened sense of urgency? What's the energy like?
Obviously it's the next game, so that's why it's the most important. But yeah, there is that energy that's it's going to be needed. Yeah. But the word for so each week we have a word, and we're given that word by Coach DeBoer at the beginning of the week in our team meeting, and this week's word was relentless.
Let's go.
And that's what it's gonna take. We're gonna have to be relentless to win this game, and we'll see. I think we've had a good week of practice. Guys are locked in and focused. But yeah, it's the next game, and that's why it's the most important. So we're gonna be ready. Guys are locked in the locker room. Still staying after practice, watching film, doing extra footwork, all that stuff. Guys are doing that day in and day out. So we're gonna be good.
I'm excited to hear that. Watch out for Alabama. They're gonna be relentless this weekend.
Relentless.
I can't wait to watch it.
Come on, dude, that's exciting. I mean, I think there's not much that DeBoer has to say on a week like this, because I think everybody knows like this is the biggest game of the year, and it's like you guys are going to step up, I believe, and you guys are going to show out some big things. And I know he gave you guys a word for the week and something that you guys can think about all week, and that word is relentless. But is there any other ways that you would say your coach has really helped you specifically as a young player coming up prepare for a game on the road like this one versus LSU?
I mean, yeah, you just got to keep in mind, like, LSU is also preparing too. Like, they've got their whole staff over there down in Baton Rouge. They're a great team. They got great guys on their team, and it's just going to come down to how each and every one of us prepare, because it's going to be in the details. How detailed are you, on the field, and I think that just comes with extra work, extra film study with your coaches and all that extra stuff you gotta do. It's gonna come down to details, and that's really, really what it comes down to. You gotta watch extra film. That's like the biggest thing. You gotta take good notes in the meeting room. You just gotta be paying attention. You can't be falling asleep during the meetings, all that type of stuff. And yeah, you gotta be detailed. That's the biggest thing that Coach DeBoer and my coaches have told me.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's a big thing with film, because a lot of people don't think about how important film really is. Like if you're locked in on film, it can give you the smallest amount of things. Like, okay, when this wide receiver, for me, like when I was playing defensive back, if this wide receiver is lined up literally like 3 yards inside the hash, I can expect either this, and if he comes 3 feet off the line of scrimmage and he hasn't done this, then I know this is coming. That's how you get to play a lot faster. And playing fast in a game like this allows you to play physical and truly be relentless, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And I was able to watch a little bit. I was a little while ago, I watched a podcast on Jalen Milroe, and he was talking about the acronym of family. And it's forget about me, I love you. And I think that's a really cool acronym, because it's cool. It's going to take a family to win a game like this. It's going to take a family to knock all that extra stuff out, all the external talks and all that. And it's going to be a family that gets us through the rest of this season and through the playoff. And speaking of family, we have your brother here with us today, who really wanted to come on today and ask you a couple of questions as well. I'm going to introduce Carson Jones back to the stage here, and he's got his on, man.
I sleep in this thing, boy. Come on now. This thing's glued on. Yes, sir.
Let's go.
What's up? How you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
Chilling.
Good.
Yes, I just wanted to ask you really just one question. I feel like we kind of covered some other things, but, I feel like some football players, you listen to them talk, and, they say they don't really watch football, outside of football, They don't pay attention to NFL, all that, but I know me and you, I know you love ball. Ever since we were little, that's pretty much all we do. We watch football, we play football, we love football. So, obviously, you've seen a lot of good players, good linebackers, in college and the NFL, since you've been alive. So is there anybody that you see that you watched that you try and emulate, or try and, take a few things from their game to kind of use in yours? Yeah, of course.
It's a good question. I have watched. We watch a lot of football. A fan of the Steelers, and a backer that comes to mind is Ryan Shazier. I wouldn't say I would. I wouldn't say I play like him, but just as far as like his pursuit, the pursuit he has, how fast he played, that's stuff I wanted to have in my game. And of course Fred Warner, the best backer in the league. As far as being where he needs to be, him just flying around the field, taking the ball away, punching the ball, picking the ball off. Watching him, that's my player comp. I feel like, I thought I could definitely reach that level. I believe I could do that. And then I like watching Troy Polamalu too. If I want to get hyped up, I watch some Troy Polamalu film. Some highlights. Ray Lewis, as far as being physical and stuff, got to go to one of his camps in high school and got coached by him. So, watching his highlights is a good one too. And honestly, another Luke Kuechly. Yeah, my bad. Actually, we literally watched a video of him today in our
let's go
in our meeting. We watched a video of him, the one where he's watching film on like with the Xbox controller.
Dude, that's what he always used to say. He said, "I'm not the biggest, I'm not the fastest, I'm not the strongest,
but he was the smartest.
I'm going to study and I'm going to be smart and I'm going to know what your offense is doing."
Yeah, and Luke Kuechly, Luke Kuechly is he might be the GOAT. He might be the GOAT middle linebacker.
I wish he had a longer career, man.
Yeah, because as far as this, like, I feel like he's like the true like field general, like Mike linebacker, as far as like getting people lined up, telling people what the play is. Like, if I'm someone else on the defense, I want that guy as my middle linebacker. He's telling me to play. Like, come on, like, that's what I want.
Exactly. I love that.
Yes, sir.
All right, I got one more question. All right, so you're big, 6'4", 230. Not a lot of linebackers are built like that. I mean, we're talking about Fred Warner. He's like 6'3", 220. So you're already bigger than that. You got the height, you got the weight, you got the speed. But other than that, other than your God-given abilities, what have you been trying to work on and really hone in on since you've been down in Alabama to make you a better linebacker?
I got to get better with, just trying to understand offenses and what they're trying to do to us as a defense. Understanding pictures, 11 picks, 12 picks, 13, like all the personnel and stuff and what they're trying to do out of the personnels. And I just as far as like in our scheme, I just need to get better with, constantly just doing my job. And, and with that, it'll build confidence, confidence that'll pour into my teammates and, guys around me. But, I still gotta get stronger, still gotta get faster. But, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to take hard work, and, I'm excited, and I'm excited to, keep going with this season. We got a good squad, of course. And I'm excited. I got a big game coming up, and we'll see. I might be on the field, I might not, but I'll be there. I'll be there on the sideline. I'll have the club on my cast. So
yes, sir. Wait, so are you rocking the club and the brace? The club and the brace is crazy.
I don't know. The brace would go on my other arm, but I don't know. I'd be a weapon.
A straight up weapon.
Hey, I got one more question before we can let you go. But let's say it's Saturday. It's about game times. Is it 7:30 or 7:45?
I think it's 7:30.
All right, let's say definitely 7:30. You guys are about to trot out 7:25. It's 7:24. What song are you most certainly throwing on those AirPod beats before you step out?
That's a good question. Oh my gosh.
You can always think your family was you got this love from me. Young Boy is a good choice.
Young Boy, I'm going through my playlist. I'm definitely picking a Young Boy song And I might just have to go with or little baby. Like Real Spill, that's a good one. I like Real Spill. Young Boy.
Hey, young boy has some through tonight.
I like.
And if he's
Yeah.
storming, hoping that thing could clear up by the morning.
Exactly. I like Slime Mentality.
Okay.
That's
It's got to be YB. It's
Yeah.
got to be.
YB goes crazy for pregame, and so does Lil Baby. I like both of them guys. Yeah, I'm Slime Mentality is definitely being played before game.
I like that. Yeah, especially in a away game, you gotta go and feeling nasty, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what Young Boy lets you do, bro. But hey, we appreciate you taking a little bit of time in this busy week that
Yes,
you
sir.
have. What's up?
I say yes, sir.
Oh yeah. Appreciate you, man. I know that y'all have a big one, and there's a lot of preparation that goes into that. And I'm sure you're about to go back in and watch a little more film so you can play fast this week. But taking a little bit of time to hang out with the boys on Unlocked, man. We appreciate you so much, brother.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me. It was great.
Hey, let them know this weekend, man.
Yes, sir. Come on, man. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hayden Jones. I'm tweaking right now. There we go. Yes, sir. Hey, he's ready to play.
Yeah, he's ready.
Yeah, Caden's ready to play.
I mean, hearing that he's already understanding that, sure, physical tools are important in football, but understanding what takes you to the next level is the mental side of it.
Mhm.
Him already understanding how important that is. He's only a freshman. I'm excited to see where his career goes, man. I really am.
6'4", 230, can run. I mean, all you need is that mental side, and that's why I try and preach to him. And I think he's learning. You know, he's hungry. He's a smart kid. So, you know, I got all the confidence in the world in him, and he's gonna do it on the big stage one day, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, no
Let's
doubt.
go. I better be at the draft table.
Big 30. I'm not kidding, bro. Like that story I told about him is like that is Caden Jones. You know what I mean? Like he's a beast, but it's always humble. You know what I mean? It's always humility, and it's a wise at a young age. And I think it takes that kind of stuff in order to play at that level at Alabama and essentially to make it onto the NFL. So I'm excited to see. What he does. It seems like, you know, hopefully he can play this week. You know what I mean? He'll be playing, but hey, next year he's gonna be
D-Law's gone. D-Law's gone. Somebody's got to replace him.
It's gonna be the Caden Jones show in Alabama. And hey, I hope we can see it. I hope we can see it Saturday though. I'm ready to get a piece of that right now. You know what I'm saying? But if not, got to get healthy so he has a good 2 years, because after 2 years it's to the league. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, hopefully so. But hey, that was a great episode today, man. Thank you so much to Caden Jones for joining us. Thank you so much to Carson Jones, his brother, for joining us as well. Talking a little bit of ball on Unlocked today, celebrating life. Hey, BB, good stuff today, brother.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, baby.
Roll Tide.
We're excited, dude. Hey, tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow is Friday, man. One day closer to letting a naysayer know on Saturday. We're going to celebrate a lot. It's always good. It's always Good Friday, man. Like Fridays are always great episodes. We're going to cover some of the NFL games. We're going to give our final picks on college games. Hey, I appreciate you guys coming in. Again, man, the subscription, it might not be that crazy to you, even though you think it's just one. It means a lot to us. So, yeah, CJ is right. Throw the fists up. Hey, the word of the day is relentless. The word of the week is relentless. Stay relentless in everything you do. Pursue all the way to the end. And, hey, I hope you guys had a great one today, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hopefully, somehow, some way, we were able to make you smile today. And do not forget, once again, relentless.
Relentless.
Hey, and throw them things up too while we're at it, baby. All right. Tick, tick, tick.
Boom.
God, that was good.
Later.